I can try. Can you cap it at 144 FPS and view distance low? Yep. Hold on, let me get the MSI on screen display. Yeah, overclocking to the CPU. Set to 4.2. It should say that on the stream. That's not good. Oh, okay. How me pick a nice build for myself competitive settings Fortnite? It depends on what your budget is. Like, nowadays it doesn't even seem like it's worth getting a 240 hertz monitor, considering nothing can hold that anymore. It's pretty depressing for everyone that went out and bought it before they did the Chapter 2 change. Ah, damn, I thought he was in the other building. 2070 Super, yeah, that's really good. If you can afford it. If your budget's 2K, you can pretty much buy whatever you want. If you plan on streaming, I would definitely get a Ryzen over an Intel. I could try to do more streams, they're just not very charismatic. I have one tone and voice. Actually, I'm gonna try see if I can play with my cursor on screen. Nope. I just goofed it. Yeah, that's good. $1,700 American would be like 2,000 Canadian. If it comes with a decent liquid cooler and a decent case, then yeah, it's probably worth it. I'm pretty sure that's the one from Best Buy. I don't think I would call myself a content creator. But thank you for saying that. It's, yeah, probably. It's because I always play on different keyboards and different mouses and different computer setups, so it's hard for it to stay all proper. And this mouse is super, super tiny, and I have pretty large hands. So anytime I even move slightly, I feel like I'm just throwing it around, it has no weights in it. My other mouse is weighted. Why can I not find an assault rifle? There we go. Good enough. I can't. My computer's here. And then for it to stretch all the way around would be too hard, and then there's nothing for it to be on. It's sitting on the top of my case. Who the heck is that person shooting at? It's gotta be someone else in that town. I don't understand why it was shooting way freaking past me. Windows full screen, I think is what it's set to. Let's check. Full screen. 1920 by 1080. Competitive settings, DirectX 11. But I'm pretty sure if you use competitive settings, DirectX 12 actually gives you more stable and higher FPS now. Which I have to do a test on that. Shadowplay is the program that I use to stream. It's the NVIDIA experience. There. Really care if I die. NVIDIA GeForce experience. Let's see if this actually pulls up for you guys. And then you just flop over to your settings here, and then you can, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a connect thing, and you connect to YouTube, and you can stream off this. If you're using low settings, probably like an extra 10 or 15 FPS. And then if you're using Epic settings, it should be like 25. I would say, considering that's quite a big jump. Yeah, it's set on an Epic. And then, let's just see what we get if we unlock it from 240. So I'm pretty sure it should be pretty similar. Not really. Oh. Uh, 2000s. No, probably not. GeForce didn't even really give a discount on Black Friday. I had to wait till the day after to actually get a discount. Even Cyber Monday, they didn't have any. And then when the 1060 switched over to the 2060s, I assumed the 1060s were going to go down in price, and they didn't. Seems like the only company that actually gives like huge discounts is AMD. What the hell? Sweet, someone else just killed him. Oh my god. Alright, let me catch up on this. So no, I use XMP, and then it depends if you want a PC now, because no matter what, there'll always be something better coming out. Yeah, I know. I just don't like doing that. 2060, obviously. And yeah, I have turbo building. Hello. I can try. There'll probably be a price drop on the 3600, but probably not on the 2070 Super. For gaming, the i5 9600K is way better than the 3600. But for streaming and rendering and everything, the 3600 beats it. It's almost similar to an i7 7700K. Oh boy. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Where's the rest of these other players that landed here? There's no way they're all dead. Oh, great. Get back here, I want that. Oh crap, he's behind me. Ah, had all the good guns. Alright, let me catch up on this. No. How Ryzen processes information is based off your RAM speed. So if your RAM speed is set to 3600 or 4000, it will be much better than a 3000. Basically, that random access memory, the Ryzen set up to basically pull information from the timings between. So faster timing means that your processor can take ones and zeros and turn it into whatever it needs to turn into faster. Intel isn't so much. I have. I've done a tutorial. It's not good. I don't play with anyone, man. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. See you later, man. Oh, joy. Oh, God. I can see the chat. Competitive. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not good at this game at all. You mean maker of my GPU? Gigabyte. My CPU is overclocked, GPU is not. No, I'm not using it. 2070 Super. Like 200 FPS, about that. Maybe a little bit higher. I would say on average like 200. You get higher FPS if you switched out to a better CPU and got a weaker GPU, but if you play more games than just Fortnite, the 2060 is ideal because you can use it for ray tracing for Minecraft and get good FPS on Call of Duty as well. Let's see if we can find this guy. Miss. No, wrong thing. There we go. Let's go get this sack of crap. This one, I hate the pump. Alright, hold on. Graphics card is a gigabyte, if you're talking about the one that I'm currently using. The i7 9700K with the RTX 2060 Super, probably most of the time being at 240 FPS. And yeah, I can try capping at 200. Gigabyte, 3 fan. This one. I mean, the 1660 Super is pretty good, but yeah, I mean, it's good. Just kind of a little bit pricey, and there isn't enough of a difference between the 1650 Super and the 1660 Super. If it had ray tracing, that would be a different story. hold on. I'll get to that question in a sec. Screw it. I'm just gonna land here. Alright, give me 1 second, and we're gonna go over how to choose the right graphics card. Okay, so. PC part picker. Alright. So we go over to a PC part picker list. And let's throw in graphics card. Delete. Alright, so 1660 Super. And sort from low to high. So when you're looking at a graphics card, pretty much all the base clocks will be the exact same, but what you're going to be looking at is the boost. So this is basically how it determines on how much FPS you're going to get. The higher this boost, the better it's going to be. So this one's actually quite good at 1,845 for 229. I'm sure this is probably out of stock. No, might be. But let's look at the amp versus the gigabyte regular. Okay, Asus, where are ya? So probably not that one. Sorry, Zotac. Zotac is what you said. Pretty sure. Zotac. I can't see your comment. Well, either way, yeah, just look at what the boost clock is. You're going to want to choose one with a higher boost clock. Like, here's the one that I use, 1,860. And then the only Zotac one I can see is this gaming amped. And this one is 1,845. But if you're comparing it just to the regular Gigabyte, it's better than the regular Gigabyte, but not better than the 3-fan. Hopefully that makes sense. Hold on, gotta fix the screen. Have a 1660 Super Ventus. With an i5 9400F, but I'm upgrading my CPU to i7. I would only upgrade to a K Intel if you actually have a Z series motherboard. If you don't, it's pretty much a pointless upgrade. You might as well just go with the i7 9700. Depending on what games you play. The i7 9700K would be better at Fortnite on competitive settings, but if you play any Call of Duty, the difference between the 2070 Super and the 2060 Super is quite a big jump. I mean, it's 240 FPS like maybe 60% of the time. Second that you get far distance, it's not going to be 242 solid. Oh, still guys here. No shields? Come on. Hold on. Let me try to read the comments. Bush sitting. Oh, crap, the storm's coming. And I'm pretty sure I have no heals. And I walk past so many healing. I'm probably going to die. GTX 1080, 1070. I mean, if you overclock the i7 high enough, I'm sure it can run 240 most of the time. I haven't used that combo in forever. I don't know what the i5 9400F and the GTX 1660 Ti gets anymore, but when I had it, it was 240 hertz. Oh boy. No way. Why did he just kill himself? Why would you do that? You had so much to live for. I mean, I have multiple monitors. This one is 144 hertz. I don't know. I mean, $700 for a pre-built, you're not going to get too much if you're willing to build it yourself. You can build actually a quite decent PC for $700. Oh, great. Why do these guys keep showing up around me? Get away from me. Not great, they're coming for me. Just leave me alone. Holy moly, these guys are coming at me hard. Take all minis. Okay, so there's guy there, there's guy over there. God damn it. Hold on, I gotta read all those. That sucks. Okay. So close. $3,200 MAC. Yeah, you can stream with the 1660 Super at 60 FPS. Yeah, you can't go any higher than 60. Holy moly. Will I be able to stream without lag with a Ryzen 5 3600X and 2070 Super? Yeah, for the most part. I mean, like, you shouldn't lag whatsoever with that, but I mean, if your question is, can I do 240 solid while streaming? Probably not. I don't think this computer is up to date, so let's just see what it's set to. Yep, I guess I did update it. Oh, no, I don't want to be in squads. No, get me out of here. Oh, no. Load it back up. I don't win any games. I always come second place. If there was a trophy for the amount of times I came second place, oh. Do you think an i9 10900K overclocked with a 3080? How am I supposed to know that? I don't. That graphics card's not even out yet. Oh, there is overclocking done to my GPU. Why did that save? Huh. Okay, so I was wrong. I don't have it set up. I overclocked last time. Hold on, we gotta turn this off. I didn't have it set to apply a system startup, and I did a fresh boot. That's weird. Okay, so the GPU was overclocked that entire time. Let's see what FPS we get now. Should I get Ryzen 5? I don't know. No, 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 you're not annoying me. I mean, it should, I hope. I hope at some point Fortnite makes it so more people can get 240 FPS. I don't know why Chapter 1, like almost every PC could get 144, and then the high-end PCs could get 240, and then all of a sudden they're just like, nah, no one gets 240. So that sucks. Well, how the CPU and GPU is supposed to work for Fortnite is low settings is CPU and then high settings is GPU, but for whatever reason now they're making it a little bit more GPU all the time. For the Ryzen 5 3600 or the 4600, I guess wait for there to be a sale. Like if there's a sale on the 3600, you might as well just get it. If there's not, you might as well wait. It's hard. It's a hard call because you don't know if there's going to be a huge difference. The 2600 X to 3600 if someone was like, oh, should I wait, when the 2600 was like $120, and then the Ryzen 5 when it came out was like 200 and something. No, I wouldn't tell them to wait. I would tell them to go for the sale. Get the 6-core, 6-thread, and do a little bit of overclocking yourself, even though it's still an older architecture. It's hard. No matter what, there's always going to be something better coming out. If you want a PC now, you might as well just buy it now. If you can wait, you might as well wait. i5 9400F. Yeah, the 9400F is a really good CPU for Fortnite for low cost. It's not great for streaming because it only has 6 threads, but it is still doable. You can still do it. I don't know much about 3550H. What is... But it's unvaulted. Is that a different game? Or is that a game type? Well, Intel's pretty much already killing themselves on their own. Ryzen doesn't even have to do anything. Intel keeps coming out with stupid updates, and I think the new generation of 10th gen is really disappointing. Nvidia probably isn't going to have any trouble. They seem to... AMD keeps trying to push out too strong of graphics cards that aren't ready to be launched just to try to keep up with them, and I think that's a mistake. The best graphics card they ever came out with is the RX. I would probably say RX 580 and the 570 for the low price point, and then, yeah, and they're still for sale for super cheap. So if they just stopped and tried to do that again and try to make it the best they possibly can and then release it, would be better. I personally think the new RX lineup, the 5700 and XT and all that, are a little bit disappointing considering only certain ones run well. What are they? The high-end ones, Sapphire, I guess I think is the best one to hold drives, but that one is pretty expensive. It kind of sucks when you shouldn't have to worry about the graphics card performing properly or not. Like, you shouldn't have to buy a graphics card and be like, oh, hope this doesn't crash. Like, you just spent $500 on a piece of equipment. The i5 8400, and it matters what 1060. If you have the 1060 6GB, you can probably hold 200 FPS. The 1060 3GB, and that you'd be cutting it pretty close at the 144 range. Llama in the tree. Which one? Tell me what number. 87? 212? No, I don't use dual PC stream. It's streamed on the exact same PC I'm using. Llama in the tree. Am I gonna run out here, get shot? No llama. I don't know what I get in Warzone. I can try that game next if it's downloaded. Where the heck is it? Sometimes. Sometimes it gets 240 FPS, and then other times if I'm in a fight, it drops. Like, if I just look over here, I should get a drop. Right there, there's a drop. There's a drop. There's a drop. Okay. I think the lowest that I've seen is like drops to 100, but that's under like extreme load with a ton of people around. And yeah, only for I would say at most a second. Most of the time it stays above 120 for 20 frames. Guess I might as well just use this. I don't know why I'm saving it. Yeah, the 3600 and RX 580 is a really good combo for not having to spend a lot of money. If I was going to buy an RX 580 though, I'd probably buy a used one. See if you can get one for like $100. Yay, I'm so good at the game. What do you got for me? I'll take this. That's mine. This is mine. This is all mine. I'll take that. That's all mine. These two. See you later, fish. Woohoo, all that material. I don't know. I've never participated in a scrim game. I don't know how to join them. Considering everyone's already pretty much dead in this game, this is definitely not a scrim lobby. I have never heard of that PSU company, so I do not know. i5 10400 RTX 2060 Super 240, maybe most of the time. Which do you think makes more sense to buy? An i9 10900K 2070 Super. I would go with the i7 and 2080 Super. Give me a break, I'm dyslexic. Hard for me to rate a lot. Oh, that idiot's illiterate. Is an Intel... For gaming, probably not. I think for an extra $15, you should just get the i3 9100F. That's probably the lowest Intel I would go new. I was gonna say that's for the lowest processor I go, but the Ryzen 3 3200 is weaker than that, and I would still probably buy that if you're on a strict budget. Say specs, but RTX 2060. The RTX 2060, of course. Oh, I just goofed. shoot me. Shoot the other guy. He's got the good stuff. Think I'm an idiot for going in there. Come on. Let the damn guy heal. Jesus. That went terribly. Nothing. Nothing will do 240 FPS all the time. Watch any professional streamer with a $3,000 computer. They get drops. They get drops to like all the way down to 120 when they're in battles with like 15 people. Oh, high five, 9,600. Yeah, I use turbo building, but I never ever use it. Take it all down. I mean, I don't know why would anyone would want to play with me. I'm pretty crap. I pretty much only play solos. I mean, $1,200. Probably would just say go with Ryzen 5 3600, B450 Max motherboard, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 3600 speed. The RTX 2070 Super, I think, would be around that price range. So I probably would just recommend that if you plan on streaming. Well, that's hard to say. If you look at the price of the GTX 1060 when it first came out, it was $300. The RTX 2060 when it came out, oh, there's a llama over there, was, I don't know, I want to say, I can't even remember. I paid 475 Canadian, I think it was, with their first sale. I think that's a llama. I don't know. It's way too hard to say. And it's probably blurry because I didn't switch it to the right server. Nope, it's set to Canada. I don't know. Wonder what my bit rate is. It's 13. Any higher, it would be worse than better. Ryzen 2700 with 24 gigabytes of RAM and 2070 Super. My game still doesn't feel that great even after optimizing it. Okay. So the fact that you have 24 gigabytes of RAM makes me think you have 3 sticks of 8. Depending on what kind of motherboard you have, it might not have an offset RAM mode, meaning an uneven number of sticks. So if you do a test and you're not scoring really, really high on your RAM, you might want to take out one of those sticks and just make it regular 16. That's the only thing I can think of. Because I know with my Z370 motherboard, I can't have an even number of RAM sticks or even one different brand in the 4, or it runs like complete crap and I lose a ton of FPS. Damn it, I didn't expect that guy to come for me. Oh, he still has heals. I got 32 gigabytes, best thing about it. For my PC, right on. Have you heard of ASRock A320? I have not, but I can look it up right now. ASRock 320 HDV R4 R4.0. Okay, it's that really basic motherboard that a lot of pre-builds come with. Okay, what's your question about it? Uh, Deep Cool Castle's nice. Basically, any brand name liquid cooler 240 millimeters is usually pretty good. NVIDIA discontinuing their lineup 2000 series, including the 2060, because I want to replace my current PC ASAP with an i5 9600KF 2060. Okay, so your question about the, just to take on your whole question there in a whole, if you're upgrading your i5 8400, if you don't have a Z370 motherboard, I probably wouldn't upgrade to an i5 9600KF just because you won't have the overclocking capabilities if your motherboard is like a B360 or anything in that manner. I probably would just upgrade to, if you can afford it, the i7 9700. It would be your best price to performance, and you wouldn't need any sort of special cooling because it doesn't have any overclocking, so you could just get a regular 120 millimeter air fan. And as for the 2060 getting discontinued, there'll probably still be sales for a little while of remaining stock, but it's hard to say. The only reason that there's still so many 1060s and 10 series laying around is that because of cryptocurrency, they made a ton of graphics cards and then filled up warehouses. When that crash happened, they kind of got stuck with them. So that's how come you can still sometimes find brand new, still in a box GPUs. So I have a Ryzen 5 3600 and I want to know if it would work with an RTX 2060 KO. Yes, it will. Screw it. I gotta really keep watching my screen when I jump. I kind of just jump and then stare at the screen. I mean, they're probably going to discontinue the RTX 2060 when the new generations come out. It would probably just depend on what are left. These factories can only make so much products on the line, and they're not going to be worrying about an older architecture when they can start pumping out the new ones. It's how come, like, a lot of the time when they have those really, really good deals, and you're like, oh, it's gonna get better, it usually doesn't. It's usually best to buy it as soon as you see the first sale, because you never know if it's ever gonna come back, or even be around. No, I'm buying a new PC completely because it's pre-built with an H3Z70 motherboard, so I don't know. Please tell me i7 9700K RTX 2060 is better than the Ryzen 5 RX 570 XT because I know it's the same thing. The i7 9700K would be better on low settings. CPU demanding games like Fortnite, you get a higher FPS than the other. The other one would be better at GPU demanding games and streaming. They were supposed to be coming out, I think, in October. I think that's when the new GPUs were supposed to be coming out, but I have no idea when they're coming out now. Pandemic pretty much pushed everything back. The Ryzens are supposed to come out, or they were supposed to come out in September, and then be on sale by October, but I don't think that's happening anymore. And I'm pretty sure the new GPUs were going to come out in late October. Okay, what are the new ones? I already answered that. No, I'm buying a new PC completely because it's pre-built. The H370 motherboard, I think, does have overclocking. Yeah, so if you have an H370, you probably can flash your BIOS to work with the 9th gen Intel. I'm pretty sure the H series has overclocking. Nope, you're good. Don't have to apologize. Yeah, my PC, as of right now, is overclocked. Just the CPU. I thought that I wasn't overclocked with the GPU because I didn't set it up to start with Windows and I did a fresh startup, but apparently the GPU was overclocked for my first couple games, but right now it's just the CPU and that's it. CPU is set to 4.2 lock, and so it's not anything too extreme. As you can see from my temp sitting at 59 Celsius, it's not like it's getting up in temps whatsoever. What do I have to do? Force on if I want to play Fortnite. Focus on if I want to play Fortnite on low settings. CPU. CPU is the most important thing for low settings. So if you have a really, really good CPU in like an RX 570, you're going to get pretty solid frames. If you want even more solid, an RX 580, and even more solid, the 1650 Super, but those are like the lower end cards. But if you got like an i7 or a Ryzen 7 with a 1060 or an RTX 2060, you're going to get really good FPS on low settings. Okay, can't answer. Watch me for a while. So if you can actually get your hands on a Ryzen 3 3100, that's not totally overpriced. I mean, if you overclock it, you should get a similar FPS as this. A closer comparison would probably be the i5 9400F compared to that. If you got the 3300X, I think the average frame rate between the 3600 and the 3300X is 15 FPS or something like that. But yeah, every price that I've seen of the 3300X and the 3100 has just been absolutely ludicrous. It's cheaper to get the 3600. For the Ryzen 5 3600 4.2 set to 1.33 volt or 1.35 depending on what you can get away with, but 1.35 is pretty normal, taking it away from the, I think the stock voltage that mine kept going up to was like 1.39, so I pulled it down to 1.35. Okay, that's not too bad. 3,100 for 90 pounds. If you can actually find that, yeah, that's actually quite good. Oh, so I guess I should talk about when I use this PC, I use my mouse wheel to build. So if I click down, it's floor, roll forward, ramp, roll back, wall. In case you guys see me doing that all the time. Okay. I can do the i5 9400F at some time when I get a chance. Since that computer is completely in shambles, I would have to take my other computer apart, take out my 9600K and put back in the i5 9400F. Okay, I want to ask you a question. I have a ton of PCs. Would you say it's worth it to get 2 fans for cooling the GPU, or 3 fans? Okay, so when it comes to 2 fans versus 3 fans or all that stuff, was that always destroyed like that? I feel like I just came from that building. I didn't see anybody. So when it comes from 2 fans to 3 fans, mostly what you want to look at, it's not really the fact that it has 3 or 2. You want to look at the boost speeds, if it has RGB, and how much more money it is. I mean, and like if it's an extra $15 to get RGB and an extra fan, like how mine was, I would definitely recommend it. Oh, it's them. Hold on. I mean, like an overclocked i5 9600K performs almost the exact same as an i7. So that's probably why. If you can actually get your Ryzen 5 3600 that low for a volt, then yeah, of course. The lower the better. Of course you have heals. Hold on. Yeah, so 1.225 is perfectly safe if you can actually get away with that. Where do you get the money to buy these parts? I'm 27 years old. It's not like I'm a teenage kid. I'm working forever. Could you do this, but in scrims? I don't know how to join scrims. I mean, if someone wants to link me how to do it, or explain to me, then yeah, I can try to set it up and actually do a stream, just see what my FPS would be like. It would actually be quite cool, but I don't know how to join them. The i5 9400F compared to the 3600 is quite different. This one is more of a 230 area of FPS, and then the i5 9400F is like a 200 and 210 FPS area, but the difference is it is cheaper. No, I've been done college for years. I'm supposed to be in school currently to get a gas fitting license, but since the pandemic I can't do that. How do you join the Discord server? Yep, I'm old. I've been playing video games since I've been 5. I've been playing PC gaming since I've probably been like 13 years old. In low settings, there isn't too big of a difference between the 1660 Super and the 1650 Super. So if you're playing strictly low settings, they're pretty much similar. The only way you can tell a difference is that they're right next to each other, and it's about 10 FPS. FPS. The 9700K has internal graphics, meaning you can plug an HDMI into your motherboard and get an image. The KF doesn't have internal graphics. That's the only difference. So if you're planning to use a GPU and you're never going to use internal graphics, then definitely just get the KF and save money. Internal graphics aren't really good for anything. They heat up your CPU quite a bit, and they don't even do well. No, I'm old. If I do things anymore, or I fall a certain way, or I get cut, I used to heal, like, incredibly fast. As soon as you pass, like, the age of 20, you stop healing as fast, and you just think to yourself, holy moly, am I ever getting old? No, you cannot overclock the i5 9400F. The only thing that you can do to benefit it a little is get a decent motherboard like a Z370 and increase RAM speed. Anything over 3000 isn't really going to matter, but the difference between 2666 MHz that it's locked to on the B350, or sorry, B365 motherboard or the B360 is actually quite a difference. But anything over 3000 doesn't really matter, and then Ryzen does really well at 3200 and up. Yeah, low settings is yes. People said to me 3600 very unstable. I mean, if you're overclocking your RAM to 3600, then yeah, it can be really unstable, but I have 0 crashes with this PC. If your RAM is made to do that speed, it's perfectly fine. Like, I overclocked mine to 4000, and still no crashes, no nothing, no overheating. I mean, if you had a 3000 MHz, and then you increase the voltage and then try to pull it up and squeeze the timings to 3600, yeah, probably it would be unstable. Hello. Oh. Yeah, it is. 27's old. No, your stuff. This is now mine. Get rid of this. Hold on, I'll try to read those comments. I'm in the circle. I'll just stand in this awkward spot, and I'm sure no one will even notice I exist. My internet speed is 250 per second, and then 20 upload. Okay, I need to... I don't remember where it was. God, that's so many questions. OP on AMD versus Intel, Apple versus Android. Yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Buy whatever's in your budget. 3600, 2070 Super MSI B450 Max motherboard, 2 sticks of RAM, 8 gigabytes, 3200 good PC. Yes, that's a very good PC. Please, are you saying that the 5G internet? Gigahertz, high. PC with a Ryzen 5 3200 and a GTX. Super can make a good streaming gaming PC. Yes, Ryzen 5 2600 with a 1660 Super can make a good streaming PC. Do you think the RTX 20 Super will be around at Christmas time? Probably. There'll definitely still be some sitting around. I'm sure there's an abundance of them on the shelves. What's better, RTX 2070 Super or RX 5000 XT? The 2070 Super does beat it, but the comparison of the RX 5700 XT versus the 27, that's up in the air, and depending on what brand you choose is going to be the better one. You're getting a better FPS on a 1660 Super than me with an i5 8400 and RTX 2080. Because I'm using low settings, I'm sure your high settings would be much better than mine. How long would you say you should run a stress test for to make sure overclocking is stable? Well, that's a hard one. So each game is kind of runs differently. So if you do an overclock and you plan to only play Fortnite, obviously just test it on Fortnite, make sure you get no crashes. But if you switch over to something like 7 Days to Die, for instance, it might crash literally right away, just because 7 Days to Die does not like overclocking whatsoever. So it all depends on what game you're playing. That guy's totally gonna try to line up a headshot. Name of the game here is just make sure he can't get that stuff. Oh. Do have splashes, I'll just use them. Where is this guy? These and splashes. Oh, I feel bad. That guy had so much. Poor guy. Just did him like that. Okay. Oh, he's trying to get trick shots on me. Screw you, bud. Ah, damn it. Okay, hold on, I gotta read all these. Okay, so I already answered that. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, where the heck was I? If a motherboard isn't 3rd gen compatible, how do you download the BIOS? You go to the website of your manufacturer of your, here, I can just show you with this since I still have it up. You go to this website, or whatever your manufacturer is, and then you go over to support, and then it's going to have, your update list. I do not like how this one is laid out. But anyways, you download it from here. This one sucks. Here, it's like, here, just let me look up mine. B350 Gaming Pro. So this one will be way better laid out. So if you have an MSI, you go over to support, and this is usually how it's laid out. BIOS automatically, and then you're going to basically just look for the chipset. Usually they stack and will tell you if you need to do it or not. This is the one that I have to use, the beta version. You download it, save it to a USB stick, which your USB stick will be on here. Drag it over. It's going to be a zip file. You're going to open it up, take the 2 files that aren't zipped, right-click them, and then, or sorry, left-click, drag. Make sure to copy both of them and then put them back into the USB and then delete the zip file, and then you go onto your BIOS and then you go over to your flash option, and then it will automatically detect your USB, and then you download the file. It takes about, I want to say, 3 to 5 minutes, and then you have the newest BIOS. Okay. Hopefully that person's still even in here to hear that explanation, or everyone else just heard that for no reason. Oh god. I didn't realize I was already in a game. I have never used OBS. No, the max means that the BIOS update is already there. Can you cap at 160? Yes, I can cap at 160. If he's still in here, if you just want to see the CPU usage and whatnot, yes. What chip is equivalent to the i7 9700K? I think the closest one would be a Ryzen 9. The Ryzen 7 is more against the i5 9600K when it's overclocked. And then I guess the Ryzen 9 would be competing against that, not the Ryzen 9 3950, the one below it. The Ryzen 9 350 is almost identical to the i9 in performance, but at a lower price. Okay, can you cap it at 160? Yes, it's capped at 160. If use OBS, how many frames do you get? I've never used OBS, I cannot tell you. Thank you very much. Yeah, any brand name CPU cooler is probably not bad. So Thermal Take, Deep Cool, Cooler Master, any one of those is probably not going to be too bad. You're not like you're gambling on a company that just came out. Hold on, I'm going to just try to go die so I can answer all these questions. Damn it. Literally the second I zoom out. Oh, he's still up there. Uh, 81, that should be enough to get me up to him. He's got a shotgun out. There it is. Okay, let me try to answer these questions as fast as possible. If I build a PC, AMD power, so if you build a PC, you need to have Windows saved to a USB stick. You go to Windows website. Okay, so this is the website that you're going to look for. It's the Windows 10 one. You're basically going to do download tool, then you're going to save it to a USB stick from, obviously you're going to download this from another computer, and after that it downloads. It's going to give you an option to put in your code right away, but you can choose to do it later, and you'll have a free version of Windows 10 if you don't have a code right away, but the best place to get it is probably just Amazon. For, I think it's $4 or something like that. There's so many questions. You're gonna have to ask it again. Every time that I try to drag it up, I get lost. By the way, if I have a CPU higher than Ryzen 5 3600 or i5 9400, I think you meant to say F. Well, I need a liquid cooler. No, you don't need liquid cooler for 3600 at all. Like, with me overclocking with a liquid cooler, I'm only at 55. If you didn't have a liquid cooler, it would only be like 5 degrees hotter. So would it be better to overclock an i5 9600K than buy a Ryzen 7 300 700X? It depends on what you're doing. If you're strictly just gaming and you want to do no streaming, no video rendering, and all that, just based on the price point of the i5 9700K and then the Z370 MSI A Pro or the Gigabyte motherboard compared to Ryzen's alternatives, B450 Max would probably be the lowest I would go when it comes down to those nickels and dimes. And Ryzen actually does come with a pretty cool cooler, the RGB one on the Ryzen 7, but it does have a coil whine, which a lot of people complain about. And then with the Intel, you're going to have to buy a cooler. So at that point, I don't know. It's a hard call. Like, let's look it up. i5 9600K versus 3700X. And if we look at it here, you see that the average is better here and better there. I don't know, it's a hard call, because this one does have way more threads, 16 threads. The best benchmark is 94%, which is actually quite good. And then 9700K, 104. And you didn't even have it fully overclocked. I don't know. It really depends on what price you can get a motherboard for and what price you can get a decent cooler for. Every website. No, so with the i5 9400F, the average base clock is 2.9, and then the turbo speed is only on a single core, and the 4.1 is only on one core, and I think it's like 4.0 for two, and I think it's 3.9 for all six. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I do know that the 4.1 is only on one core. So if you're doing one thing that only takes one core, it's really fast. As soon as you launch gaming, that goes away. Do 144. Okay. So yeah, it's not an overclock. A turbo speed is an automatic thing Intel has. Even Ryzen has it. So the turbo speed of this Ryzen is 4.2 on one core. I set mine up because the Ryzen's overclockable to be 4.2 on all six. So that's basically the overclock I did, if that makes sense. You can't set it to 4.10. It will be an automatic thing. It will only be on one core depending on what you're doing. So if you open up a task manager just to see the usage of your CPU, sorry, not task manager, but any program to see what you're set to, it will tell you. Or if you do a user benchmark, I'm pretty sure the it will tell you that it's set to 4.1 on one single core. It would be nice if you could set it to 4.1 all the time, which you could if Intel actually unlocked their CPUs like Ryzen did. Then you could definitely do that. I think you meant to say you're crap, by the way. And yeah, I am pretty crap at Fortnite. Alright, let's run into battle, see if we can hold 144 pretty much constantly here. If we can do it here, probably do it almost anywhere. Sweet, give me that. Ah, I didn't realize there was a ledge there. I thought he was staying on a ramp. Wait, one more question before I keep watching here. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure you can probably overclock a 3300 Ryzen 3 3300X with just the stock cooler. I don't think you need anything special. But yeah, it probably would be more beneficial. So when you're picking out a cooler here, let's just go over how this works. Before you, oh, it's gonna start a game. I don't care. CPU coolers. Okay, so you have all these different kinds of coolers. When you're picking out an air cooler, like this is one that's pretty standard. It probably has a copper thing at the bottom. So the nice thing about copper is it's really, really good heat exchange, I guess I would say. It's good at you pulling heat away and pulling cool air in. But if you look at one of like this one, You can see that it has 4 pipes, so the more pipes it has, the better it is. This one has much more pipes, so these pipes basically pull in cool air, and then it also pulls hot air away. So it works almost the same as the air conditioning in your house, where it has the copper pipes pulling the hot air through the copper pipes to that compressor outside of your house with that big fan on it, and it pulls the hot air away. It's almost like the exact same concept as that. So when you're choosing an air cooler, try to choose one with these. That's how you know it's going to be decent. And there's some really, really extreme ones. Like this one's actually really, really good, but it only has 3. But it's only good because those fans are really, really well made. I just want to see if there's like a crazy one. Yeah, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. This is like overkill. And then the other side has 6 as well. So it's got a push pull going on with 2 radiators. So yeah, like that's the best way I guess I could explain it. Is just try to choose more of those tubes than not. Is it alright? 4 point G's i5. So the 4.10 here, let's just pull it up. i5 9400F specs. Okay, so if we open this up, we should be able to see it. Open. So the turbo, this is the base clock frequency, that's the turbo. Boosting 6 cores, thread, core processor, 9, blah, blah, blah. And a 4.1 max turbo speed. And then this one's not explaining it proper. Let's try looking up a different one. 4.10 max turbo speed. Max turbo frequency is okay, here we go. So if we will look at this, so you can see this is the base clock frequency. This is when it's basically just sitting idle doing whatever it's doing. And then this is the 4.10 max turbo, which is an automatic thing that it will do. Max turbo frequency is a max of single core frequency, which is blah 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 compatible blah 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 blah. So it will automatically set itself to 4.1 depending on what you're doing. When you're doing something more extreme using multiple cores, I can't remember the exact number it's set to, but it's higher than 2.9. There's no way to overclock it. The only thing that you can do to make sure it stays at a higher point is to keep it cool. If the CPU detects that it's getting too hot, it will automatically set itself to a lower frequency, but there's nothing you can do to overclock an i5 9400F. The only thing that you can do is have 16 gigabytes of RAM and a decent GPU and a good cooling system to try to get the best performance you possibly can. Is max RAM speed on i5? So if you have a motherboard that's a B360 or a B365 2666, I'm pretty sure is the top speed. Even with the new 10th gen, they still left it the same. So yeah, 2666 is top speed, but if you get overclockable motherboard like a Z370, Z390, any of those, you get a benefit from having it set to 3000. Anything higher than 3000 for an Intel doesn't really give you very much of an improvement on CPU usage, so it's almost pointless to get anything higher. But of course, if a 3200 or MHZ is cheaper than the 3000, of course go for the 3200. You're still going to get benefit for when you're rendering, but you're not going to get too much benefit from your CPU on an Intel. It doesn't work the same way as processing information as a Ryzen. So to answer your question, yeah, it depends on what board you're using, I guess would be the sum up. Because right now, Intel's getting a lot of hate because the new 10th gen, they did the exact same thing that they did on the 9th gen, which sucks that it tops out at 2600 and you need to get their new Z series motherboards. And if you bought a K series Intel and you didn't buy the warranty plan for overclocking, if you do any overclocking, even XMP or game boost, which is already set on the motherboard, you lose your warranty on your motherboard and CPU, which is absolutely ridiculous. Intel shouldn't be doing that. I don't think AMD does that. Pretty sure AMD lets you do overclocking without scolding you on anything, because they allow it. They left it open. Can you make video stream settings to use Shadowplay and the B450? Good motherboard. Yeah, the B550, depending on which one you're getting, is a really good motherboard. It has really good voltage. You can run all the way up to Ryzen 9 if you absolutely wanted to without losing any sort of benefit from it. I'm pretty sure it can even run the highest Ryzen 9, but I'm not 100% certain. I think that's the main benefit between the B450 Max and the B550. Depending on where you live, the 550 is actually cheaper than getting a decent B450. Okay, my build budget is 1. Yeah, okay, good. You understand. My budget is 1. Speed makes money. Budget build 1,000. That's not bad. 1,000. My budget build isn't very crazy specs. So if I'm running Fortnite, what clock speed is it on? I think the clock speed of Fortnite is like 3.9, between 3.9 and 4.0, depending on how cool you keep it. So if you have really good airflow, it should be on 4 all the time, and then 4.1 for 1. Like, I could be wrong. I never really looked into it too much. And yeah, the only thing you can do is like open up your MSI Afterburner and set it up to actually show your speeds, and you'll actually see the full number of 4,000 blah blah blah. And then you'll know which way it's set up, but I'm pretty sure it's 2.9 when it's sitting, and then it's 4.1 on one core, depending on if you're doing something like watching videos where it only needs one core to operate, and then if you're playing video games, it's like 4.1. Or sorry, 4. 3.9. But it's not the 2.9 that it advertises. I don't even know why it does that. Makes it really hard to understand. Yeah. No, but you won't get 4.1 if you're playing Fortnite. Fortnite definitely uses more than just one core. Yeah, I can go unlimited. Oh boy. I got splashes. Competitive is usually what I always have it set to. I'm not a good person to ask about pre-builds. I'm skeptical on every single one. I do know that for a while, Amazon had an Intel i7 9700K with a liquid cooler with a Z390 motherboard and RX 2700 Super for 1,400 plus tax. That is probably the only pre-built I would say is actually well worth the money. It was like $200 less than building it yourself. And it actually had a decent case, decent RGB lights, and the cooler wasn't half bad. The only upgrade it needed was putting the liquid cooler that was right at the back, put the fan and radiator up top, and buy another fan, and that would fix the heating problem I imagine it was going to have. And it also had 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is nice. I don't play on DirectX 12 because it doesn't cooperate with NVIDIA cards as well as it does with AMD. ever since the update, you get a lot of FPS drops. I'm pretty sure, though, that if you play competitive settings, DX12 might actually be better. But the last video I did comparing the two, it seemed that competitive settings were better on DX12 by about 10 to 15 FPS, but I need to do a test at the exact same spot and try to do it at the same time of day, but it's hard. But I will get it done. Die 1,000 times to make one stupid 1-minute video. Yes, that's a good combo. And as for 3,600 or 9,600K, it depends on what you're doing. If you're streaming all the time and plan to use OBS and a ton of stuff in the background, of course, go for the Ryzen. If you just want to game and get high FPS without doing a lot of work, the Intel 9th Gen i5 is very, very good. It beats it on FPS by, I want to say, about 20. Even with this combo, I did the test where the Ryzen was overclocked to 4.2, the Intel was overclocked to 5.0, Intel was using 16 gigabytes of RAM at 3000 speed, and the Ryzen was using 3600 speed, so it was pretty much fair across the board. They both had boost and not boost. Where is this guy? I don't want to die from getting hit again. Let's get him. Oh, no, put that back. You ain't getting away, bud. You're not getting away either. I own this land. Storm is closing. Oh, yeah, definitely taking that. Okay. Full, 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 full. Uh, I couldn't tell you on why they set their FPS like that. Maybe there's some sort of benefit to the bitrate. Maybe it's easier for the computer to render it to a stream. I'm not sure. Man, I feel like I'm gonna get shot from the first person I see. Come on. I feel like these are the better players in the lobby, so I just want to try to keep them back or killed, whatever I can do. Aw, damn it. Asshole. Okay, I think I can sneak up behind this guy, as long as I try to do this as smart as possible. Okay, 3 people left. See if this dude had any things I can use. Come on, dude, sneak up on him. Kill him, so I don't have to. I'm gonna come second place again, like I always do. The only advantage I have is they have to come towards me. boy. No, 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 no. How are those not hitting? Okay, that guy's got the zip line thing. Go up there and shoot him. Oh boy. Oh, I goofed that. Oh my god, second place again. I always get second place. Alright, time to catch up. Oh my god, that's so many questions. I don't remember where I was. 3,300 good comp, yes. Do you get many frames in Endgame Arena? Well, that was Endgame Arena. I don't know why they do that. The 3,200 M8Z isn't too big of a difference. 3,600 only maybe 5 FPS, if that. Swedish is the pre-built. Okay, good. Now those are for me. I have tested the Ryzen 5 with the RTX 2070 Super. I have both those. I have streams of it. Yeah, I use Shadowplay. I think this season I've come second place like at least 6 times. I haven't won a single game. Always second. Always come second. I can try all those settings, yes. Not that. I mean, no, I don't. I personally just like the look of liquid coolers. If you have a really good case that's large with good airflow, you don't need a liquid cooler. You can get away with one of those 4-tube air coolers like I was showing, like my 1000 Ryzen 5 1600 with a 3.9 overclock. Only ever used air cooling, and it never went over 70, so no, you don't need liquid cooling by any means. So tell me, there ain't a big difference between 2600 and 3200. Let me see. Well, it depends. If it's Ryzen, yeah, there's a huge difference between those two. Anything over 3000, it's going to run better. But for Intel, no. There's not a huge difference between 2600 and 3000 or 3200. A good GPU for the i5 9600K, you can go anywhere between a 1650 Super all the way up to, I would think, maybe a 2080, maybe a 2080 Super. I'm sure you would get a little bit of bottlenecking though. 2070 Super is probably the highest that I would probably recommend. Hey, buddy. Hold on. I'll be done in a sec. Alright guys, just stand there. What an idiot. I did not play that well. He could have killed me as soon as I came down the stairs. Okay. Yes. Yes, I am using the GPU to stream. Yeah, that's not a terrible PC by any means. Hey, I've been trying to install Thermaltake. Can you send me... Actually, you can't send me a link. I'm not sure. Usually you have to tighten tighten one and then the one straight across from it, so like an X, and then the next one you just do little by little. If you tightened one before, like all the way before the other three, then it can cause it to have like a tilting effect. That's the only guess I would have. Uh-oh. Alright, this is gonna be the last game because I gotta let my dog outside. Hey, Guffy, you wanna go outside? Hey. Hey, leave your paw. Hey, Gotham, leave it. Leave it. Don't do that. Come on, I'm reading here. Come on, leave me alone. Come on. Oh my god, I missed that shot. Alright, I gotta get my dog outside. I'll be